Well, hello everyone, it's Don, and we're of course having technical difficulties today. Oh my gosh. Hang on just a second. There we go. Put that over there where I can see it. All right. My apologies everyone. I had everything going and then a camera stopped working, and at that point, all bets are off. I don't know what the heck happened. Anyway, welcome everyone. Hopefully the ones that were on the last broadcast will jump in on this one. I apologize if you were on that. It's kind of crazy. I don't know what the heck happened. We're going to wait just a few minutes. As you can see, Lily is feeding the pups. They are quite vigorous eaters. I guess that's the best way to put it. The biggest one, he's about 3.5 pounds right now, and the smallest one is just over 2 pounds. All right, so can everybody hear me? I'm thinking the mic is working. Everything looks like it's supposed to be working good. Of course, I don't trust this system anymore. It's been kind of screwy. Hey, Jim. All right. Can somebody tell me if they can hear me? Good, loud and clear. Thank you, Keith. Okay. Wow. So we got 66 viewers on. Looks like most people are jumping back in. Outstanding. So, lots of a few questions today. We'll get started. One of the first things I wanted to talk about, though, was the amenity fee. So we'll try this, and nothing works. And of course, okay, so the amenity fees. So let's get a few things clear. The amenity fees goes to 3 different places. The first one is the Rad Fund, or the Recreation Amenities Division, which is controlled by the Village Center Community Development District via the AAC, the Amenity Authorities Committee. The AAC's only job is amenities, unlike project-wide. We're going to get to that. So that's north of 466. Between 466 and 44, the Sumter Landing Amenity Division Fund, which is controlled by Sumter Landing Community Development District because they own the amenities, and it's managed by the Project-Wide Advisory Committee. Project-Wide Advisory Committee has 2 roles. One is the Project-Wide Fund, which we'll talk about on another show. The other is amenities. In the Project-Wide Fund, they represent their individual districts. On the amenities issues, they represent the residents directly. Okay, just like the AAC represents the residents directly. And there's sometimes some confusion about why they're voting or the way they do, but that's the basic reason. They have 2 different hats they have to wear on project-wide. And lastly, south of 44, this is all the new areas. The money all goes to the developer because they own the amenities. Now, the developer does pay for the staffing and many of the, for example, pickleballs and things like that. Anything that has to be utilized that the district or the recreation department is providing, they are directly reimbursed. Pretty simple. They own the money, or the amenities. They get the money. They get the money because, again, they own it. They own the buildings. They own the property. They haven't been sold to one of the commercial districts yet, like the Sumter Landing Community Development District or Village Center Community Development District. From that money, they got to pay all their expenses. They're still trying to recover their cost from building all the amenities, and they're also paying taxes. They have maintenance costs. Everything they take care of their own maintenance. So the Rad Fund, or north of 466, is almost $77 million. That's from the 4 districts. The CDD 1, 2, 3, and 4, and the historic side. Sumter Landing, which is everything from 466 to 44, they have a budget of $94 million. South of 44, we don't know. It's a privately held company. They're not required to disclose anything. The only time we'll see a disclosure is if they decide to sell the amenities to one of the either the commercial district or maybe an outside entity. That's possible. Roxy, I see your question. I'll get to it in just a few minutes. Total, it's about 170 million north of 44, so probably $200+ million total for revenues for the amenities division. So now the big question is the developer, and that falls under the audit that's done every year. And there's a thing called related properties. And if you hear the squeaking in the background, that's the puppies. I'll show you one of the puppies here shortly. They're getting quite huge. Anyway, Sumter Landing Amenities Division has to deal with related parties, this is stuff that the developer is providing. So through contracts. Part of it is advertising. This is advertising, printing. These are the costs that are incurred with the publication company that makes the Daily Sun. When they put out the recreation news every week, that's part of this cost. And this is the cost for the areas between 44 and 466. IT services, they annually, it's not annually. I think it's every 3 or 4 years they put out a bid for IT services, and Technology Services Group, which is a developer-owned company, has that contract right now. And excuse me just a minute, I got a puppy that's stuck. You okay, little one? My apologies, I'm back. The puppy was stuck. Anyway, IT services, and then lastly is golf management services. Some of the stuff that's provided for care of our golf courses, the executive courses, is paid to the developer. So I'm not gonna get into the whole golf course issue. I'm tired of talking about it. It's crazy. Let's see. Somebody asked, do they invest all that money? No, Ken, they do not invest the money. The money is collected throughout the year, and it is spent throughout the year. This $94 million is collected in 12 monthly chunks, and it is spent throughout the year. So there is a cash flow that is maintained. There is some reserves. The reserves are invested. There are multiple funds that they are invested in. There is the Investment Advisory Committee. And they invest the money. Similar things happen with the repair and replacement funds that each of the residential CDDs has. They have anywhere from, I think, CDD 10 is about $4 million right now, and I think 9 is at 15 million, somewhere in that neighborhood. But that's invested and hopefully making money, so that we're not losing money on that. Altogether, what the developer receives out of that amenity fee is about 4.2%, or about $4 million. And they're providing services for that. So they're not making a big killing on it. They're not involved in the management of it. They are simply a contractor for these different services. It's similar north of 44 at the Recreation Amenities Division. It's a smaller number, but it's about the same percentage. Let's see. John Watson said, assume Middleton is developer owned as well. So Middleton has some amenities. It is their own. They have, as I understand it, they have an HOA fee. I'm not 100% sure on that, but that's a completely separate fund. It's not part of the retirement community part of the villages. So what's important to understand with the amenities is what an amenity is and what is not an amenity. So amenities are executive golf courses, postal stations, swimming pools, recreation centers, the guard shacks. Let's see, what else? There's a whole bunch of stuff that falls under amenities. Okay, well, what's not amenities? Stores, shopping centers, gas stations, restaurants. Okay, all these commercial properties, they are not amenities. Neither are championship courses. All of these are privately owned pieces of property, privately owned businesses that exist to make, God forbid I say it, a profit. That's that big thing that businesses are in business to do, is to actually make a profit. So it's important to understand what is and what is not an amenity. I frequently hear people say, well, they always used to build the amenities first, and then they build the houses, and they don't do that anymore. Well, I disagree, because I see golf courses and executive courses. Sorry for the background noise. I see executive courses going in, Saluki Recreation Center, the postal stations, and neighborhood recreation area in Moultrie Creek, and in Shady Brook, and in what's the other one? Water's Edge, sorry, and of course Wellpoint. They're all being built. So that whole thing is a pure myth. Part of it is the perception of the way things were and the way things are. It used to be that we didn't get to see what was behind the curtain where they were building. There was roadblocks, and you didn't see what happened. Well, now, because of the way the land is arranged, you drive through all this construction. You see it. So it has a different perception. So how can it increase? There was a recent online article about the AAC looking at increasing the budget like 40% for golf. And of course, the first thing that pops out is people saying, well, they're just going to raise our amenity fees. No, they can't do that. There's only 3 ways you can raise an amenity fee. Okay, the first is a CPI adjustment. Now, when we had a lot of inflation a year or two ago, we had some big CPI adjustment numbers, like 8-9% on annual CPI adjustments, and those hurt. Okay, I'm just like everybody else. I'm paying the same amenity fee. Sorry about the noise, man. These guys are just so, and this is all day anymore. Anyway. So that CPI adjustment comes on the anniversary date of one of the filings for building your house. And I don't remember exactly which one it is. I got it in my notes, tucked away on a computer someplace. But when they go to contract, I believe it is, for the house, that's when the date is for the adjustment. And that happens every year. If you sell a home, okay, when you sell the home, your home, the new owner gets to pay the current prevailing rate. The prevailing rate is the rate set by the developer for all the new areas and all the new homes. Okay, they have the advantage of a balance sheet. So they know exactly what it costs to run these recreation centers. And they figure it out, excuse me, so that they can actually make a profit. Yeah, and pay for the recreation centers. And that's why they adjust it every year now. Oh, man, I can barely hear myself talking here. Sorry. Anyway, and that's how they keep their books balanced. The SLAD and Rad Fund, they're completely subject to the CPI adjustment. So therefore, when you sell the home, this helps make up for that shortfall that the political football that the CPI has. The last way is a vote by homeowners to add services or amenities. If there's a majority vote to add something, let's say we want to build a covered swimming pool. Well, then 50% of the people, over 50% of people have to agree to that. And then there's going to be an increase in the amenity fee to cover the operating cost and the cost of building it. Ken, your question, is it all public records? It absolutely is. Go to districtgov.org and you can see it. Just go to each of the different districts and you will see their audit reports, their annual budgets, everything is there. And if you don't see what you're looking for, you can do a request for information through the district office. Okay. But this last one has yet to occur that I am aware of for anything new that's been added. Could it have been done? Probably so with the new wood shop and probably so with the walking path. But it wasn't necessary because our funds were, we had adequate funds in the R&R and working capital funds. R&R is repair and replacement fund. Right now what's happening in our amenities with the golf courses is part of that money to pay for that, the work that has to be done to bring them back up to better conditions is coming out of the repair and replacement funds, exactly what it was designed to do. Okay. Oh, let's go back. Okay, I'm back. Wow. So we had a few things come in. Let's see. So there's a lot to do with the amenities. I'll be honest with you. It can be confusing. I was a district supervisor for 6 years, and thanks. But I was district supervisor for 6 years, and I was directly involved with the amenity funds because I was also on the project-wide advisory committee. And for a while there, I was the chairman of the project-wide advisory committee. I've been going through these budgets, and I still go through them every year. I'm going through them for this year's as well. Because it's important that we get an objective look. We have some good members on the project-wide advisory committee for the most part, and they do their job, and we have a good district staff. They're not afraid to call out district staff either if they disagree with something in there. So Mark Ryan says, Don, is there a shutoff valve for the irrigation system separate from the main shutoff on our Nova system? I understand the water from each comes from a different source. Thanks. Mark, yes, there is a separate shutoff. The easiest way to get to it is out in your front yard. There's going to be two boxes in the ground. The one with the purple lid, take it off and you'll find it. Let's see. Let me see what's going on here, Muskie. I've learned to count to 10 real fast. Nope, all the pups are fine. They're definitely squirming around. Let's see. Mike says, I saw a sign for traffic pattern change on Central Parkway in a couple of weeks. Anyway, it made me think about the status of a hospital. So, good question, or good comment, Mike. Yes, the 15th, they're opening up the next section of Central Parkway. It's going to go all the way to the county line, and they've built a temporary section of road to connect from Central Parkway down to 470. They're doing this so that they can demolish that section of 470 and start building some of the villages that are going south of Central Parkway. This has been the plan for a while. The hospital, that temporary road goes through where the hospital section is supposed to be built, the Wellness Village, I believe is what they're calling it. Sorry, my mouth gets dry, I gotta have coffee. My throat gets dry, I gotta have water. So as far as I know, it's still under negotiation. They have not come to an agreement yet with whatever entity. There was a plan to go with University of Florida for a teaching and research hospital here in the villages. Unfortunately, our college campuses are run by very liberal administrations, and UF is no different. They were at odds with a very conservative builder, the developer. And, when our county commissioners 3 years ago decided they were going to raise the impact fee, they used that as an excuse to end the deal. And it's just, it's the end of it. So now we're not going to get a research and teaching hospital, but it'll probably be, whatever it is. The big problem is Medicare, because it's predominantly a Medicare-funded hospital because of the population here. And if you read this morning's paper, Medicare Advantage, they're looking at trying to cut funding to that. I'm not going to get into it with our federal legislators. They get their own agendas. Agendas are expensive, and we can't afford them. Anyway. So, will there be a hospital? As far as I know, still, yes. Is it, when is it going to start? I don't know. I don't know. Let's see, Central Parkway. Thomas says, we are closing on a home in 2 weeks. Probably has a bunch of questions. Probably have a bunch of questions for you then. Thanks for your info you provide. Okay, yeah, closing. I close in, 10 days? 9 days? 9 days, the 13th, whatever, 8 days, I don't know. So, yeah, my new home. Let's see here. Janet wants to know, what % of sales fee does a village real estate person get? Do you know? No idea. No, there's no puppy stuck. They're just whining about everything. Their eyes are starting to open. They're starting to walk. It's a pretty amazing time watching them, and they're growing like crazy. Sorry, the pen is right over here on my side. I get to look at it all the time. And let's see. Jim O says, Don, is there any chance that a city town will ever be able to annex any part of the villages into their city or town? So, Jim, it's already happened. Lady Lake has part of the villages. Fruitland Park has part of the villages. And Wildwood has a huge part of the villages. Everything new that's being built is in Wildwood. And yes, we get to pay taxes to the city of Wildwood there. All right. Let's see. You can't drink all day. Great name. You can't drink all day is the name. 1.5% was told by a VLS agent. Okay. Let's see. Breeze wants to know, will there be a multimodal path down Marsh Bend Trail to Eastport area? Absolutely. It's being built right now. It's actually on the, which side of that road would be? Anyway, you can see it being built between the wall that's up on Marsh Bend Trail and Marsh Bend Trail. So it is, it's happening, okay? And it's going to go all the way down past the cell tower and come in. It's going to go into the area by the end of the lake. Let's see. One puppy outside the pen. Oh. Now they're all in the pen. It's they get caught up everywhere. It's crazy. Let's see. All right, I'm going to go check on the puppies. Hang on. Let me see if I can find my puppy cam. Where's the puppy cam? I can't find it. All right, hang on. Let's see here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, we got 10. Let me get one of you guys. Can I have one of your puppies, Lily? Oh, that's 4. Oh my gosh. That's okay, man. Here's Thor, everybody. He is 3.5 pounds, and let me see if I can get him close enough. You can see his eyes are starting to open. He is such a cutie, and he is a fat little one. Like I said, he's a little over 3.5 pounds. And Lily's not happy, I don't think. Or else, nope, she's just wandering off. All right, pup, let's put you back in. You can see on one of them, he's starting to walk. All right, let's get back to our questions. Marsh Bend Trail, we talked about that. Let's see. Don, what can you share about the new courtyard villas across from Saluki? Do you have any idea how close they are? Torrey Terrace specifically. So, Sarah, I do know a little bit about them. I just went out and looked at them yesterday. Because that was actually the first place that we were looking to buy in Torrey Terrace. The first house on the right as you went through the gate is a Winslow C, a big, beautiful yard. I loved it. But they're getting close. It's just from the looks of it, it's probably another 2 weeks before they're probably going to be on the market. Obviously, I wish I had a magic 8-ball because I sure as heck can't figure out their release schedule, but be sure you're working with an agent. Be sure you tell them which one you're looking for, so that when they come to be listed, that you have a chance on getting it. Let's see. Tim wants to know: is there a shortage of doctors and dentists in the villages? Does it take months, maybe 6 or more, to get an initial appointment after moving to the villages? I have not seen a shortage. I don't know what everybody else's experience is. I use Villages Health. I have for the last 10 years. I had no problems whatsoever. When my mom came to live with us a couple of years ago, we were able to get her right in with my same doctor, Dr. Perez, and he took good care of my mom for the last 2 years of her life. Sorry, watching the puppies in the camera because they're starting to walk all over the place. And then when my son came to live with us, we managed to get him. We didn't get him in because his health care insurance wouldn't work with the villages. But I've never had any problems getting care, getting an appointment. Best I can tell you, it seems good so far. Let's see. Miko says, what about a date for the new southern grocery stores? Magnolia Plaza getting crowded. No idea. They haven't started building either one of them yet. It looks like they might be starting to clear land in Middleton on the north side where the grocery stores should be going, but at this point, nothing has started yet, so it's hard to give you a date. Let's see. Richard says, hi Don, are there any plans for anything like a Wawa or gas station or anything on the corner of Megacin and Warm Springs? I have been looking for the last 3 years for Megacin and Warm Springs and what's going to be going in there. Right now, the only thing I know of that's going in there is not a hospital, but a healthcare facility, an extended care extended care? No, not extended care. What do they call it? A rehab facility. But other than that, no, I haven't heard anything yet. I wish I did. Let's see. Muskie says, we prefer to go to Ocala. The doctors in the villages following Big Pharma propaganda. They will not go against Big Pharma. Muskie, I'm going to disagree with you on that one. Based on my experience with my mom, she sounded like a maraca when she walked. Her doctors in Colorado Springs had her on so many meds, and he took her off of 75% of them because they were interacting with each other. And amazingly, her health rebounded in just a couple of short months to much better because of it. Everybody has their own experiences with the doctor. My doctor, Dr. Perez, has been very good with me. All right, I think I've covered all the live questions. I got some more questions here. Where are we at on time? We're still good on time. And we got 164 people watching. That's cool. Very good. Let's see. We'll go to the questions. So, all right. This one is from Deb Owens. It says, Hi there, Don. In one of your videos, you mentioned Chipotle coming on 44 at Powell by McDonald's. Is that still happening? Yes, as far as I know, it's still happening. I saw a little bit of dirt being moved, but what the construction plans are, I haven't seen anything yet. As soon as I see something, I will share it with you. That's all I can tell you at this point. But these things take time. All right. So we got some more questions come in. Let's see. Don Cushing says, anything planned across from Lake Dunham's Dabney on 470? I'm sure they have plans. My guess is the area south of 470 is going to be pretty much all commercial. But what's happening there yet? Nothing has hit the streets as far as permitting or anything like that. Mark wants to know, do you know when Target on 466A will open? Sometime, 6-9 months. They're just now getting started on the building. So I haven't had a chance to get out there and shoot yet. I did some shooting yesterday. Where was I? Oh, yeah. Over at the Enclave and the area where Central Parkway is going to be extended out. I took some good footage of that. Let's see. Don beat me to it. Another debate on Talkative Villages saying there is no way a golf cart path will go 470 over the turnpike because of the on and off ramps. Any ideas if that would hinder it? It won't hinder it. Not at all. They're going to they'll just redo the ramps, okay? Anytime the turnpike does a major project, it's not uncommon to redo the ramps. When I first moved to Florida, the first job I worked was on the Florida Turnpike, replacing the security systems in every toll plaza in the state. It was a huge project, one of the biggest projects our company had ever undertaken for security, and it took several years to perform. We watched many ramps be rebuilt and redone as things change. Bridge over the turnpike, I absolutely believe there will be. they have to build another bridge, okay, because they're widening that to 4 lanes. Because they're widening it to 4 lanes, the current bridge isn't wide enough. They built another bridge on Warm Springs, okay, but the Turnpike built that, okay. Right now, the developer has the contract to build that with Lake County, so we'll see what happens. But I believe that, yeah, we're going to see some crossing over it. Vic wants to know, when will there be a hospital south of 44? Who knows? I know that, again, we talked about this earlier in the show. It's under negotiations. We'll see how long it takes. They got to get to an agreement. Hey, it only took them 3 years for Costco. So, this is an even bigger deal than a Costco. Let's see. Bill says, hi, Don, Long Island, checking in. Be there in a week for a lifestyle visit. Looking forward to time I will be there for and seeing what the building has turned into since I was there a year ago. Wow, a year ago? You missed so much. Things change so fast. It's crazy. All right. Let's go back to the question here. We talked about that one. I live in Monarch Grove and Corbin Trail goes right through our village. How busy do you think it will be? Will it be a cut? Will it be a major access or just a cut through? It definitely is going to see a significant increase in traffic. Okay. There's no way around it. But people are going to be going to the Finney area and to Magnolia Plaza. That's what they're going to be going there for. Part of it's going to be bypassing the Water Lily Bridge, so they don't have to go so far out of the way. There's going to be some. Okay, so this I'm going to get to this one because Roxy asked me about it. Where is it? There we go. So Roxy wants to know: can Leesburg build adjacent to the enclave? Thought it was a preserve there. It is a preserve. That's kind of why you got that one little road going up there. It's because it's going through that preserve area. They just own the enclave, not the village's own, or the village's purchased the enclave area and not the area around it because it was a wetlands preserve. Will they build there? Probably never. They've got to get that. If they would want to do that, they'd have to get it approved through the Water Management District, and I just don't see it happening. The water management districts here in Florida, I think there's 6 or 7 of them. Most of the villages is in the southwest. It's called SwiftMud, Southwest Florida Water Management District. And part of it's in the St. Johns River Water Management District. These districts are very, very touchy about wetlands, and they don't like to give it up. All right. We'll go back here. Let's see. Okay, this is Kevin. He wants to know any updates on the 2 areas of Warm Springs and Megacent other than the proposed rehab facility. Again, nothing yet. There is a church going in on the opposite side, north of Warm Springs, but there's a big section of commercial property between the church and Warm Springs. Any indication that a Walmart, other than the one previously mentioned in Middleton, may locate south of 44? I don't know who. I don't know who the developer is negotiating with. Obviously, they have a long-standing relationship with Walmart, with the Walmart that's on 466, as well as the Walmart neighborhood markets. It's possible. He says, best of luck with Willie in the upcoming brood and your campaign effort. Oh, thank you, Kevin. I appreciate that. Campaigning is so much fun. Let's see. This is from Sue. She says, my husband and I enjoy your videos and information. We often cannot tune in during the live show, but watch it after. Okay. The end of May, we will be there for a lifestyle visit where we hope to buy a 2-bedroom courtyard villa in the Eastport area. Do you see evidence of any courtyard villas areas going up in Shady Brook or other neighborhoods which could potentially be ready around the end of May or beginning of June? Yes, I do. And that is the villas that we talked about that overlook Saluki. They're right on the corner of Central Parkway and Marsh Bend Trail. And yeah, they're getting close. They're getting very close. All right. We will. This was a great one. Good question, Mark. Regarding the lakes at Eastport and Middleton, will the villages allow the use of personal kayaks and canoes? I suspect they won't, since those areas are private and owned by the developer. So they won't be owned by the developer. They will be owned by the Community Development District when they're completed. And in this case, it will be the Eastport Community Development District, the business district. Just like much of the wetlands up there north of Lake Sumter Landing. I can never remember all these things anymore. It's getting too much. So they do control it. As far as in Eastport and Middleton, where those the boathouse is, where it looks like where they're putting in the kayak launches and probably canoes also. Part of the reason they don't allow boating in those lakes as a general rule is for safety. We don't have a safety patrol on the water. So will they allow it? Anything is possible. I wouldn't count on it, though. That's best I can tell you. Hey, BK, thank you for the donation. I appreciate it. Every bit helps. All right. All right. Kelly asked this one. This is one I've gotten quite a few times in the last couple of weeks. And we'll also get to the McNeil Drive and when it's going to open. I'll answer that question. In the past, I have watched the new areas opening and see that the premium water or golf lots go for sale first or at the same time as others. I have noticed recently I don't see premium lots shown for sale. Have they changed their strategy, or are they still selling as quickly as I am, and so quickly that I'm missing them? Is there a way to pay a fee to reserve a lot before it goes on the website? Okay, don't rely on the website. Bottom line, you need to have a Villages Realtor. If you want a premium lot, golf or water view, you have to be working with a Villages Realtor in order to get it. There's always a lottery, if you will. I guess it's a lottery. I don't know how they choose it exactly. But man, these puppies are noisy. But it's a random choosing. Everybody puts their name in. You get to choose 3 different locations. And if, I guess, the computer rolls the dice in your favor, you win it. Or you win the opportunity to buy it. There is no way to pay a fee to reserve a lot before it goes on a website. What you see on the website is basically what's left over. At 8 o'clock in the morning, the day that they're released, man, these things go like hotcakes. Within minutes, they're all pretty much gone. So it is hard. It is challenging to get a great site the first time. Takes a little bit of luck. That's all I can tell you. All right. And, I guess that's it for my questions. Wow. All right, let's go back to the main camera. There we go. All right. So let's see. Anything? What's come in here? Ronnie Stern wants. Oh wait, we got another one. So Richard says, I know they're expanding the turnpike lanes, but there does not. But there does not seem to be enough room with power line towers. Do you think they will install sound walls all along both sides? So the power line towers are fine. Yes, they are looking to expand it to 8 lanes through Sumter County, both north and south on State Road 92 or the Florida Turnpike. Will they put sound abatement walls up? I don't know. I certainly hope so. I know as an MPO board member, that is one of the things I am definitely keeping an eye on. I want them to put in sound abatement walls. When they went, if you bought a house along the turnpike right now, you knew it was there. Okay, but if they expand it to 8 lanes, you didn't buy into that. You bought into 4 lanes. So that my position is, if they're going to do that, then the Turnpike Authority or the Florida Turnpike Enterprise, the FTE, owes us some sound abatement walls through Sumter County. Don, any idea about the development going in on Rolling Acres? Yeah, it's a big housing development. I think it's 1,200 homes. They've got 3 entrances to it. I'm trying to remember. It's something Oaks. Anyway, something Oaks. But yeah, that's just a housing development. Let's see. Janet says, speaking of your campaign effort, when is election day, and do you have any further thoughts about it? You have a lot of supporters. Please keep us advised. Well, thank you, Janet. I believe it's August 20th. Yeah, I think it's August 20th is election day. So I mean, I'm just going crazy with my campaign advisor, trying to get some things out of the way. As you can tell, I got a haircut recently, and it's because they did a bunch of campaign pictures last week. So it's like I had to get a haircut. Anyway, and I'll keep everybody up to date and let you know. Let's see. Brian wants to know, will the ARC allow metal roofs? No, I don't believe so. You have to check your deed restrictions, but generally no. Do they have let's see. Rocky wants to know, good question. They do have parts of homes with metal roofs. Yeah, there are some architectural metal roofs, and I believe what do they call them? The cottages that are up at Lake Sumter Landing on which side would that be? That would be on the east side of Lake Sumter Landing. You see them as you're coming down Morse Boulevard towards Lake Sumter Landing. Some of those have metal roofs. Jerry says, realtor said no to metal roofs. Nothing against the realtors. They're not the ones to ask. The ones to ask are the ARC. They're the ones that are going to be, they'll be able to give you the answer. I'm hearing, so Don Cushing says, I'm hearing of a gas station on the corner of Chandler and 470. Any truth to that? I have found nothing that would validate that. Anybody that's saying that right now I don't know where they're getting their information from. There are no public sources that are indicating that. My sources that I have, that they have been able to point me to nothing on that. Nobody knows what's going in there. But I think it's going to be a great location for some business. And I think a gas station would not be out of the question. So Vic wants to know, renting is a hot topic south of 44. Not south of 44, in all of the villages. What if any government entity can address renting rules or limitations? You know, I wish I had a good answer to this because, I don't have a problem with long-term renters. I really don't. 6 months, great. Even a month, that's fine. They tend to try and most of them try to blend in with the neighborhood. I have many friends that are renters that have been. I mean, Ron and Marianne are good friends. I'll see them tonight. We're going to play some samba. They've been here 4 years or 5 years. It's been quite a while, and nothing, no problems with them as renters. We don't even. It's not an issue. Where I have a problem with is the Airbnb. They're here 2 days and gone. They're here 3 days and gone. They treat our community like crap. Okay. 2 years ago, one of the realtor associations in Lake and Sumter County, one of the realtor associations, they interviewed me, and that was their big topic about, how I felt about the rental market and that. And I didn't get their endorsement because they didn't like my answer, because I don't believe that these short-term rentals are good for our community. Not every one of them is bad, but there is enough bad stuff, that's not how I want to put it. There's enough negative implications from many of the people that come here and stay, and they fail to realize that them treating this like a vacation resort, well, this is our homes, okay? And most of the residents don't appreciate that. Let's see. Let's see. Victoria says, how much room do you need in your veranda yard for a pool? Puppies are adorable. Thank you. They are great. I'm going to miss them when they go home. How much do you need? I will tell you, if you're getting an inside veranda, you're probably not going to have enough room for a pool. The veranda we're buying has the lot's 8,500 square feet, and the yard is huge. So we'll have plenty of room to put in a pool if we decide. If we decide to. But that's probably a couple of years down the road. We are looking at renting that. I can't move into it. I have to live in District 5, which is for Sumter County, in order to maintain my seat. So much to our dismay, we're going to make it a rental property for a couple of years, just long-term renters. So we close in a week, but we're definitely going to be looking for renters. In just a couple of days, probably I'll have an ad up. Let's see. But as far as how big of a yard for a pool, it depends on how big of a pool you want to put in. The inside lots, though, there is not enough room. Maybe if you have a corner inside, you'll have enough room, but it really depends on how big of a pool you're going to put in. John Watson says, any thoughts on solar systems? Are they worth the cost? Are they allowed? Yes, they are allowed. Florida law overrides the ARC, so they are allowed. I have solar heating on my pool, and I think it is fabulous. I was in the pool today after cutting the grass. It was a long day, a long morning. Sully and I went for a 2.5 mile walk, and then I cut the grass front and back. Yeah, that was no fun. And I finally just said, you know what, I'm going to go jump in the pool. And the dogs and I spent about a half an hour in the pool. And the pool was beautifully warm. It was like 88 degrees. I thought it was actually a little bit too warm, so I'm going to adjust it down some. So there is a great payback on solar heating your pool. And it definitely is worthwhile. We're able to use our pool 10 months out of the year because of the solar heat. I also have gas heat, so if I want to heat it up, I can do it anyway and use it 12 months. The rest of the solar electric, I see some people with it on their roofs. I'm a numbers kind of guy, okay? And there's a concept called ROI, return on investment. How many years will it take me to earn back the money I invest in it, to just break even. Okay. And with the cost of these solar systems for electric, honestly, for a house, I just don't see it. The last time I looked at the ROI, it was like 15 years. And by that time, you're replacing panels and batteries and everything else. So you got to add all that in. So, well, yeah, you're not using electricity off the grid because you got solar, but you're really not saving money when you start breaking it out across, how long it takes to pay it back. Let's see. Pardon me. Let's see. Victoria says, is there any way to have an infinity pool with a water view lot? Talk to your pool builder. They can do it. I have seen a couple of infinity pools. I did one of the pools I did, and where was it? Was it Linden? Yeah, the village of Linden. Beautiful, beautiful pool they put in. It had an infinite edge. Another one I did in St. Catherine. Jack was the homeowner's name. He had it built after the house was built. His spa has an infinite edge. It's absolutely gorgeous. So yeah, it can be done. All right. So you can't drink all day. I disagree, but okay. This is a bit out there, he says, but regarding Chandler 470, the area south of 470 is owned by the villages and may be commercial. Could they put a multimodal tunnel under 470 while they expand it? Can they? Absolutely. Will they? I'm not a gambler, but that's one I'll put a bet on because that's easy money. Let's see. And Janet says, Don, which sites do you prefer to use for finding renters, or are you going with the villages? Also, is one puppy out of camera view? Yeah, one of them is definitely out of camera view. The one whose head is nearest the screen on the lower right, which is Thor. Yeah, there's another foot of whelping box that can't be seen with that camera. And there's a puppy there. I can see him underneath the rail. So for finding renters, well, I'm going to use Rent from a Villager. They're one of my advertisers. I know Karen and Ryan. They're good friends. They do a great job, and I'm going to go with them for right now. I'm not going to go with the villages. My business dealings with the villages have been solely limited to buying 2 houses now. I don't have anything against them, but they're not going to advertise with me, and I'm not going to work for them, simply because as soon as I do that, I lose my objectivity with you all, and I really don't want to lose that credibility with my viewers. I've built a reputation. I feel I'm being honest with people, and I intend to keep that. And if I take the village's money for my work here, then now they hold me back and they can control what I say, and it's not going to happen. Let's see. Next question was, I work remotely from Charlotte, North Carolina. How often do you lose power, and would you recommend a whole house generator? I don't think a whole house generator is worth the money. All of our utilities here in the villages are underground. What was the hurricane that came through 6 years ago? Irma. When Irma came through, we lost power for about 10 months, or 10 hours. And that was it. It was overnight, and they had it back. Our utility companies are pretty good. Let's see. Kevin K says, hi, Don. Are you planning on getting a water softener for your new home? If so, it is done after closing. So yeah, I would get it done after closing. I will probably go with Nova. All right. Vic says, I've been in DeLuna 20 months, have never lost power or internet. I'm an accountant working from home. Good. Let's see. Muskie says, Seco changed our meters to digital, and they sent around two guys trying to talk us into solar at no cost to us. Sounds like a scam. I don't know that it's a scam, but yeah, maybe it's no cost going in, but you still got maintenance costs that you're going to be responsible for. Let's see. My name. My name should have a question mark at the end. You can't drink all day? Okay, laugh out loud. Good, yeah. Let's see. Victoria asked, do people ever close their pools like they do up here in New York and New Jersey? How many months do you really use the pool? I've never closed my pool in the 7 years I've had this one, and the 2 years I had my previous pool, I never closed it. I have a solar blanket that I can put on it, but it's not worth the headache. It really isn't. But my pool is usable basically February through December. A lot depends on how much sunshine I get. A lot, if you're going to use solar heat, if you have a south exposure to your roof that you can put the panels on, man, that's the perfect exposure. Mine faces southwest. It's not bad. And it keeps my pool plenty warm. So, no, you don't need to close your pool every year. It's just not done here in Florida. Let's see. Hit the like button. Thank you. Yes, please hit the like button. Please subscribe also. I'm quickly approaching the 20,000 mark. That 20,000 mark gets more advertisers interested. Unfortunately, these are the ones I have no control over. But hey, it helps feed my truck and my drone habit. Scott wants to know, what is your opinion on lightning rods for your home lightning protection system? So I've looked at lightning rods, and I will tell you, when I was working in construction, one of the things that I dealt with heavily was security systems, specifically cameras outside. The one thing I will tell you is there is nothing man can do, nothing man can put in that can completely stop that force of nature called lightning. It is so much energy, you can't do it. What lightning rods are trying to do is trying to keep the moisture content in the wood from being the conduit for electrical power to ground. Okay, the lightning rods, they use a heavy copper cable, and it's supposed to be a lower resistance to ground to help discharge that energy. If you get struck by lightning, you're probably going to have some damage, even if you have lightning rods. Houses get hit by lightning all the time. What are the chances of getting hit by lightning? Pretty slim. I guess they're better than winning I guess it's easier to get hit by lightning than to win the Powerball. And I guess if I win the Powerball, but if I ever play the lottery, which I don't, then I'd probably put lightning rods on my house and a whole lot of other things. But I honestly, I don't feel that they're worth the money at this point. It's just not that big of a problem. All right, so we have shot through a whole hour. Any more questions? Vic says, good luck on the elections. I need to go get some things done. Thanks for your efforts. Good question. Does the pool get dirty, or does the bird cage help tremendously? Thanks for answering all my questions. Victoria, let me tell you what. The bird cage gets the pool dirty, okay? My experience, I've had a bird cage on both my pools, and if it hasn't rained in a week or 2 or 3 weeks, which happens, and then it rains, that screen just like a big net. it catches all this dirt, and boom, it falls into the pool, and it's, you got to clean the pool. I got a guy that comes and cleans the pool. I used to do it myself. I have one of the automated pool cleaners. I throw in the pool and let it clean it, or I used to. Now I have a guy do it. It's T&D that's doing it for me. They sold off their pool cleaning division, and then they started a new one about a year or so later, which I'm glad they did. They do a great job. Everything's taken care of. I don't worry about anything with my pool at this point. But no, the bird cage, the bird cage keeps leaves and grass and things like that out. But the screen is kind of sticky for dirt, and it'll get caught. The dirt gets caught up in the screen, and the first time it rains, you get some dirt in the pool. It's easy enough to get out, but it's an annoyance. But hey, better that than the leaves and alligators and everything else. Let's see. You can't drink all day. Says check if you're subscribed. Also, I was subscribed, looked, and not anymore. Yeah, YouTube does some strange things. And Don says he plans on joining the drone club. Well, good. We hope to see you there. Bill says, is there any way... Don, is there any website or place to look for information for other villagers about contractors' work that's done after people move in, i.e. epoxy floor, concrete bird cage? There is one. Let me see. I got the guy's card. Oh, yeah. Here it is. It's called Arrival Guide. ARRIVALGUIDE. Scott is the owner of Arrival Guide. He's an up-and-coming website, and I've looked at it, and you'll probably see some mutual advertising going between us, but I think I think he's doing a good thing here. Let's see. Next one is water levels in the ponds in the new areas where homes are being built and for sale. Seems to be higher than in older areas. Okay, they're not moving water around. It doesn't work that way. Okay, they're filling the ponds right now. There's not a lot of use for it. Most of it is used for irrigation of golf courses and of like the boulevards and the public areas. That's where most of that water goes. Right now, in the new areas, there's not much use of it there. But eventually it will be. I know that I watched the water in the retention pond that's behind my new house. It's 3/4 of a mile long, so it's a big pond. So it takes a lot of water to move. And that's another thing too, is the ponds in the south part of the villages are huge compared to some of the retention ponds north of 44. North of 44, they're a lot smaller. The larger size makes it easier to maintain the level. Let's see. William says, but the same dirt would have been in the pool deck anyway. We don't have a bird cage on our other home in the Keys, and I'm constantly cleaning it. Yeah. Does the developer control all pond water levels and the moving of water from one pond to another? No, the developer does not. That is district property management is in control of that. They're the ones that move water around and are the ones controlling the sprinkler systems. Let's see. Andy Smith says, I had a pool without a bird cage and a giant live oak over the pool. Give your bird cage a big hug. It's wonderful for keeping the pool clean. Yeah. But, as was said, the same dirt, yes, would get in your pool. William, the difference is whether it all gets in there at once or over time. And with it getting stuck on the screen for the bird cage, it tends to, when it rains, it comes all at once. So, all right, folks. So I'm getting a dirty look over the top of the monitor, saying that it's time to wrap this up. If there's no more questions, we'll call it a day. We will. All right. Sorry. Things coming in real quick. Okay. Danny has one more question. What's your thoughts on Rancho sprinkler controller? Have you changed yours? No, I still have the same sprinkler controller I have when I bought my house. It's the same one. It works just fine. I've heard good things about some of the other brands, more accurate settings and things like that. Mine's doing a good enough job. My yard is a travesty anyway. I hate yard work, so going out this morning and cutting was not in my list of fun things to do. Anyway, so be it. We will be back next week. I will hopefully have a new video ready for you next week, so we'll premiere with the video and then do the live broadcast immediately afterwards. Until then, I want to thank everybody for joining, and I hope to see you all here again next week. Thank you very much. Have a good day.